Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be covering the ultimate Game Week 7 preview. We're going to go through the fixtures, expected points, my transfer targets, my team selection, and we'll also go through captaincy options as well. This video is going to be thicker than an Instagram model's arse. If you do enjoy the content that you see on the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe as we are trying to hit 750 subs by the end of September. But yeah, that's enough waffle from me. Let's dive into today's video. And starting off today's video, we're going to take a look at all the fixtures within Game Week 7, as you can see on the left. We've also got some key stats as well. We're going to take a look at fixtures you should be looking to target for this game week. The Bournemouth-Brighton one, must have a Brighton player for that one. Leicester-Villa, another huge game. I think whoever loses that game, they're probably the managers gonna go. Liverpool-Wolves, Liverpool looking to kind of bounce back, and Wolves being quite the resilient defence so far this season. Manchester City-Spurs, absolutely huge game in terms of title contenders. If Spurs could put up a massive challenge against Manchester City, that would be very interesting to see. And Arsenal-Everton as well, another key fixture you should be looking to target as well. Arsenal obviously looking to bounce back after that surprise defeat away at Manchester United. Everton as well, still yet to win this season. Running through some key stats, Manchester United haven't lost for 4 games. It's unbelievable. They've won all their past 4 games. Absolutely. Who would have predicted that after the Brentford 4-0? Everton and Leicester are the only teams as well without a win, so not good for them. We definitely should be looking to target them. Leicester have also conceded in every single game, making Danny Ward the biggest meme in FPL history. Man City as well have scored the most goals so far this season with 20 goals. Nottingham Forest, Fulham and Crystal Palace have the worst XG conceded. Quite surprising about Crystal Palace. I've always assumed that they've a good defence, but I guess they have played Arsenal, Manchester City and Liverpool, so I imagine that'll kind of balance itself out once they play a few, bottom clubs. Manchester City, Liverpool and Arsenal all have the best XG in the league, and Arsenal, Manchester United, Man City, Liverpool, Tottenham and West Ham all have midweek fixtures in their kind of respective European competitions. So if you are looking to bring in a player from one of those clubs, just kind of wait and see, let them play the fixtures, then wait for the press conferences. Don't be making early transfers this week with the European football. A lot of stuff could easily change. A lot of people at the moment are kind of feeling the momentum that we're just going to roll the transfer. Everyone's teams are in a pretty good place. The European competitions could absolutely decimate that. So just hold your transfers unless you are kind of being priced out of a move that you really, really want to make. That would be my only exception. But yeah, they were the fixtures for Game Week 7. Let's move on to some transfer targets. Moving swiftly on, we move to my transfer targets. Now, these are players that I am looking to bring in within my own team. So if you do see potentially 1 or 2 players missing, then they're probably in my squad, which we will come to a little bit later. Starting off with defenders, only 1 defender on my kind of transfer targets list for this game week, and that is Wesley Fofana. Very happy to see him play. 4.4 million as well. If Chelsea can sort out their defensive issues, they're currently 9th best for expected goals conceded. If they can sort that out, they've got amazing fixtures till kind of the World Cup. So Wesley Fofana could be a real big help in terms of getting like a bench defender who can just play week in, week out. Looks like as well he's going to impact Reece James's position on the pitch as well, which is massively important for us because it means we get our right wing Reece James back, which is absolutely delicious. So he's the only defender on my list. I also kind of like the Newcastle defence as well. I think they should be kind of people you should be looking to target, so Trippier and Pope. But for me, I'm just not kind of looking at them for the next 2 game weeks. Moving on to the midfielders, a lot of midfielders within this kind of section. That is mainly down to the fact that I have Jack Harrison within my team, and he was substituted against Brentford at half-time, apparently due to fatigue. So I'm kind of just waiting to see what Jesse Marsch says about that. He may be coming out of my squad, and these are kind of the players that I've kind of shortlisted within my mind who I'd like to bring in. McAllister, absolutely wonderful brace at the weekend. Scored one of the goals of the season as well, which was disallowed. He's the 2nd highest scoring player since Game Week 2, and he's not touched the ball inside the box. So that is a wonderful and weird stat that has been found out there on penalties as well for Brighton, which is really, really good to see. And Bournemouth away is an absolutely fantastic fixture. Yes, they got the win against Forest, but still, it's Bournemouth. They still conceded 2, and I think Brighton could have another good kind of result there. Pascal Gross, very similar kind of theme. A little bit less interested in him now, as he's kind of been playing a little bit of a deeper role, but still has really good underlying data. And the next 2 fixtures are very nice, as I am planning on wildcarding in Game Week 9. So very happy if I have to bring in either McAllister or Gross. The next player is a completely wild one, and I don't think anyone in the FPL community space is going to mention this player for at least a few weeks, maybe not at all this season, and it is Edozie. We'll go with that. As always, pronunciation is just 100% on this channel. Edozie is very much a wait-and-see kind of player, but he caught my eye at the weekend. He only played 17 minutes, but completed the most take-ons in the game against Wolves. And honestly, it's his pace, it's kind of the raw bursts that he does, and the speed that he's got. Obviously came through Manchester City's academy and now made the switch over to Southampton, where they do give these younger guys a go. Very interesting to see. Obviously only recently just joined Southampton, so we'll kind of have to see how he embeds himself within the side. But he could be a potential player I will look at when Southampton's fixtures do turn again. He could really, really make a big impact on their team. I've not seen a player kind of that explosive for a while. I think it's just that raw energy that he's got, and it is kind of his first professional break within professional football. So yeah, very much like a keep an eye out. If he was 4.5, I would be 100% tempted to bring him into my team, but he is at 5 million, so it does make it a little bit less appetizing. The next player on the list I'm looking at potentially bringing in is Son. Son would only come into my team for Mohamed Salah. Obviously absolutely destroyed Manchester City last season with 1 goal and 2 assists. Currently Son has the highest XG for any player yet to score this season. Hasn't really worked out for him, has it, so far? But the next 2 fixtures are very nice. Well, not the next 2. The one after this is Leicester as well, which would be absolutely really good to get a player in for, because they look dreadful at the moment. Obviously one of the worst defences within the league. Manchester City as well is always a tough game, but Son seems to like the Etihad, so there are question marks obviously around Salah's performances as well. I don't think I'm going to make the switch, but it's something that is running through my mind at the moment. A late addition to the kind of transfer targets as well is Marcus Rashford after his goal plus assist versus Arsenal. I do worry about Manchester United still. Obviously 4 games in a row they've won, but I do worry kind of, will they be able to get kind of these results against a team who performs a low block or kind of sits a little bit deeper? Obviously, Arsenal and Liverpool kind of play that higher line, looking to attack, and there was a lot of space for players like Rashford to run in behind. I do worry when they play a better defence or a team who's going to sit in that low block, how are they going to break that down? It very much seems to me like Ollie ball, where they kind of just went on the counter. Bruno just playing balls through to the fast forwards. Very much feels like that. So I'm a little bit skeptical of Marcus Rashford at the moment. I think for the bigger games, these players could be good options, but against a team who's kind of just going to sit back, I am still a little bit concerned. It's more of a kind of wait and see with them. They've got the next 2 fixtures are really good. So if they kind of impress within that kind of period, then it's definitely something I could look at maybe a little bit later on in the season. Moving on to the forwards, starting off with Dom Solanke. Yeah, it's still baffling my mind that this man's running through my head at the moment. 1 goal, 1 assist, missed quite a few games through injuries so far this season. But Bournemouth have amazing, absolutely amazing long-term fixtures, pretty much until wildcard. Brighton, Newcastle, Brentford, Leicester, Fulham, Southampton, West Ham, Tottenham, Leeds and Everton. Wow, what a run. 5.7 million as well, and on penalties. And he is kind of Bournemouth's talismanic figure, which is always kind of the players that you want to be targeting from these lesser clubs, the talisman ones who pop up with the goal. Everything comes through them. They're usually on penalties as well. So I really like Dominic Solanke as a pick. Che Adams, the next one. Again, I'm just picking weirdo forwards. Mentioned him last week in my differentials video, and he nearly scored. He hit the bar, and then he handballed the ball in the goal, which is still one of the weirdest misses I think I've ever seen a player do. But Similar to Edoze, Southampton have the next kind of 3 fixtures. Very nice. I think they play Aston Villa and Everton after the Brentford game. Brentford haven't been amazing at the back either, so definitely could score a goal there. Do like Che Adams, but I do think the other forward options are more appetising. And then finishing up, my final kind of forward within my transfer targets is Alexander Mitrovic. 6 in 6 for him so far. Also missed a penalty against Wolves, so it could have been 7 in 6. Obviously played a lot of difficult games, but he's still been scoring. And yeah, Chelsea haven't looked the best, like we said, 9th for expected goals conceded. So I definitely could see Mitrovic causing them a few problems. Fulham at home as well are doing very well this season. Really do like Mitrovic for next week though, as they play Forest, and Forest have the worst XG conceded. So I think that will be my kind of transfer plan for game week 8. Tony plays Arsenal, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Tony out and put Mitrovic in the team. That makes sense to me as a kind of a 1 week punt. And then on wildcard, I can kind of see which players I want to go for. Let me know down in the comments below, were there any players included within this transfer target section that you're going to potentially take a look at, or any that I've missed? Let me know down in the comments below. The next section that we're going to cover is the potential captaincy options for game week 7. I've chosen 3 players who I do believe will be the main protagonists this week. Starting off with Mohamed Salah at home against Wolves. Obviously, a lot of people kind of leaning towards Salah, but I don't know. I don't think I'm personally going to go for it. He is the highest projected points kind of player this week with 6.6, but he's having less touches, more of those out wides, and having less shots per 90, which is very discouraging to see. Got an okay record against Wolves as well. 9 games, 3 goals, 3 assists. But I think Wolves are going under the radar here. I was looking through kind of points within cheap defenders, and Kilman and I think it was Aït-Nouri as well have kind of just been sneaking through. Wolves haven't been conceding goals. They've only conceded 4 goals this season. That's the lowest in the league. That's less than Manchester City, Arsenal, all these top teams that we're considering. And Wolves here have just conceded 4. So I think it'll be very, very difficult for Mohamed Salah to kind of get an attacking return in this game. I think Wolves are being very stubborn, and that's kind of going a little bit under the radar. Salah as well, not looking in the best of form at the moment. So it is a nice fixture. Liverpool at home is always kind of a very good omen, but I think Wolves are going to be a lot more difficult than kind of people are letting on. So I'm not 100% convinced that Salah is the best captaincy option for this game week. My captain that I think I'm going to go with is Erling Haaland. 8 goals, 1 assist, 54 points in the past 5 game weeks. Been an absolute monster since he's joined the Premier League. Obviously, with City dropping points as well against Villa, I do think that increases Haaland's chances of playing this week. Second highest points for projected points as well, 6.3 I think it is, so only 0.3 behind Mohamed Salah. Very, very close. Got an unbelievable telepathic connection with KDB, and Manchester City versus Tottenham is always a very appetising clash, so we will have to see how that one kind of plays out. But for me, Haaland is my kind of captaincy option for this week. He's the way I'm leaning at the moment. But there's another player who potentially could get the armband and is going under the radar quite a bit. It is Gabriel Jesus. 3 goals, 3 assists, 31 points scored in his last 5 games. Very good fixture for Arsenal at home. And every goal Jesus has scored so far this season has been at home. Obviously, Everton kind of under a little bit of pressure as well. Kind of rumours circulating that Frank Lampard might be sacked in the next few weeks if obviously they don't pick up results. Haven't won a game that so far this season. But the stat is kind of that is kind of making me lean towards Jesus is the fact that this is his favourite team to score against. He's played 10 games against Everton, 8 goals, 1 assist, massively going under the radar. They'll be looking to bounce back, obviously, as well after the disappointment away at Old Trafford. They'll be wanting to kick on, get back good, and you know what? It could be a very, very interesting shout for captaincy. I think I'm going to lean Haaland, but for me, number 2 is probably going to be Jesus, and then 3rd, Salah. I just don't fancy Liverpool against Wolves, especially kind of looking at how stubborn that Wolves defence has been so far. Let me know which way you're kind of leaning towards captaincy. I think a lot of people are going to be going Haaland, but let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, let's move on to the projected points for the next section of this video. And here we are. As you can see, these are the predicted points for game week 7, the top 10 players. Obviously, Mohamed Salah and Haaland we already spoke about, but as you can see from the graph, a lot of Liverpool defenders within here. Trent, Alisson and Robertson. Obviously, the Wolves attack has been about as impotent as Gavin Shipman. So, yeah, they don't look like scoring at the moment. And it's very encouraging if you do own a Liverpool defender for this game week at home. Really good on the projected points. Interesting as well, Jesus and Martinelli. Martinelli really stood out for me there as well. At 6.5 million, projected to get 5.1 points against Everton. Obviously, we spoke about how good that fixture is within the last section. And Martinelli being 6 on this list is very interesting. Been a really good budget player throughout this season so far. Another kind of interesting one is Jamie Vardy at 9th. I wouldn't bring him in. It looks like he's not going to play. Obviously, I understand that Aston Villa game is absolutely huge. Villa have been pretty dreadful as well themselves, but I would avoid Jamie Vardy because he didn't play the last game. Daka and Iheanacho also got themselves on the score sheet, so I don't think Vardy is going to start there. But yeah, these were the projected points for game week 7. Very interesting to see that the top 2 are very tight. I imagine Haaland's is just that little bit lower, down to the fact that his expected minutes won't be as good as Mohamed Salah. Are there any players on this list that have kind of surprised you, or are there any that you think should be on this list? Let me know down in the comments below. But let's move on to the final section of today's video, and that is my team selection. And the final section of today's video is my game week 7 kind of team selection. Very happy with kind of the state of play of my team. Henderson in goal, Trent, James, Dunk, Cancelo, Martinelli, Salah, Harrison, Haaland and Jesus. Some really tasty fixtures in there for a lot of my players. Lewis Dunk, obviously, Martinelli and Jesus. Ivan Toney off the back of a wonderful hat-trick as well. And as we saw with the projected points, Liverpool expected to do well against a very impotent Wolves attack. So I'm very happy to kind of hold Trent. Reece James as well, if Fofana plays again, will be at right wing back against Fulham, who have been very susceptible to expected goals. So hopefully, Reece James can get himself a clean sheet and maybe an attack in return. That would be very nice. As you can see, team value just ticking on nicely as well, slowly building, and the overall rank is starting to go up. Back-to-back green arrows for me. This week, not as big, but we're kind of staying within it at the moment, and I think that's the way you've just got to play it. You've got to be in it to win it. And we're just ticking along nicely, starting to get the green arrows, starting to get the points back, and starting to build a team I'm very happy with coming up to the game week 9 wildcard. The only potential transfer that I would potentially consider making so far this season is Jack Harrison. Obviously, like I said, Jesse March did take him off at halftime against Brentford, down to the fact that he was fatigued. I would like him in that Nottingham Forest fixture. He is, I think, one of the best projected points for midfielders, so would be very happy to have him within the side. Obviously, a key danger man as well for Leeds, on set pieces as well. Very good player to have, but if it comes out that he's not fit, then I would be potentially looking to move to a McAllister or a Pascal Gross or one of the other kind of midfield options within the transfer target section. I think it's probably going to be McAllister. He's got that penalty threat as well, and they're playing Bournemouth away, which is a very nice fixture. Haaland cap, like we said, for the moment, but we'll have to wait and see where my mind kind of goes, but there are plenty of other good options. Obviously, like I said as well, make sure you are waiting till the European football has been played this week, and massively important, because you do not know what could happen. Martinelli could pull up, Jesus, all these players could pull up, and that's it. So don't make early transfers unless you absolutely need to. Let me know if you need any help with your kind of team down in the comments below. Let me know if you need any help at all, as I do answer all FPL related questions and any other questions you got down there. If you want some philosophy, if you want some deep man chat, we can have that down there. Hope you did enjoy this game week 7 kind of preview. Very thick, very chonky. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and good luck this game week.